In the intricate tapestry of shared living experiences, where stories range from harmonious cohabitation to the chilling depths of nightmares, one account stands as a haunting testament to the fragility of sanity, a narrative that transcends the mundane discomfort of roommate woes and delves into the realm of true terror. It all commenced innocently enough, amid the bustling hum of city life, with a modest classified ad beckoning for a roommate in an affordable apartment. Sarah, a recent college graduate embarking on the uncertain journey of post-education life, found herself drawn to the promise of companionship and shared expenses. Responding eagerly to the ad, she arranged to meet her potential roommate, Lisa, at the apartment for what she hoped would be a promising introduction. From their initial encounter, Lisa appeared as unassuming as could be, a cheerful disposition, a neat appearance, and conversation that flowed with ease. Sarah felt an immediate connection, and before long, they sealed the pact to become roommates. Little did Sarah know that within this seemingly serendipitous arrangement lay the seeds of a nightmare she could never have fathomed. Initially, life with Lisa unfolded with a veneer of normalcy. They shared meals, swapped stories, and navigated the intricacies of cohabitation with relative ease. Yet, beneath the surface of their burgeoning friendship, subtle signs began to emerge, harbingers of the darkness lurking within Lisa's psyche. It began with innocuous eccentricities, quirks and idiosyncrasies that Sarah dismissed as harmless peculiarities. Lisa exhibited a penchant for meticulous organization, bordering on obsession, spending hours arranging her possessions in precise symmetrical patterns that hinted at a deeper, unseen significance. As days stretched into weeks and weeks into months, Lisa's behavior took a sinister turn, veering into the realm of the inexplicable and unsettling. She would vanish for hours on end, offering cryptic explanations upon her return that did little to assuage Sarah's mounting apprehension. Whispers echoed through the apartment, conversations held in hushed tones, and mood swings veered wildly from one extreme to another, leaving Sarah feeling like a stranger in her own home. The tipping point arrived on a night shrouded in darkness, when Sarah was jolted awake by the sound of frantic whispering emanating from Lisa's room. Heart pounding, she crept down the hallway, drawn by a morbid curiosity tinged with fear to confront the source of the disturbance. What she witnessed upon peering through the crack in Lisa's door would sear itself into her memory for eternity. Lisa sat amidst a circle of candles, their flickering flames casting grotesque shadows upon the walls. Her eyes blazed with an unholy fervor, lips moving in a frenzied chant as she uttered incomprehensible incantations into the abyss. Paralyzed with terror, Sarah stood transfixed, a silent witness to a scene ripped from the pages of her darkest nightmares. It was as though she had stumbled upon some ancient ritual, a forbidden ceremony conducted in the dead of night by a woman possessed by forces beyond mortal comprehension. In that moment, Sarah knew she had to flee to escape the clutches of madness that threatened to consume her whole. With trembling hands and a racing heart, she gathered her belongings, the urgency of flight lending wings to her movements, as she prepared to abandon the apartment and the specter of her increasingly unhinged roommate. As she stepped out into the cool embrace of the night, Sarah was gripped by a profound sense of relief mingled with guilt. She had escaped the clutches of madness, yet she couldn't shake the feeling that she had left Lisa behind to wrestle with demons she could scarcely comprehend. To this day, Sarah shudders at the memory of that fateful night, haunted by the knowledge that evil lurks in the most unexpected of places. The tale of her descent into madness serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes the true horror lies not in the darkness that surrounds us, but in the depths of our own souls. Introduction. Sarah's search for a roommate began with a mix of excitement and trepidation. As a college student, finding affordable housing near campus was crucial, but she also longed for companionship and the chance to forge meaningful connections. So, when she stumbled upon a listing for a spacious apartment with the promise of shared expenses, she felt like she had hit the jackpot. The prospect of having a roommate someone to share late-night study sessions and weekend adventures with, filled her with hope and anticipation. Little did she know, her decision to move in with Emily would lead her down a dark and twisted path she never could have imagined. The encounter. The first time Sarah met Emily, she felt an instant connection. They clicked right away, bonding over shared interests and experiences. Emily's warm smile and easygoing nature put Sarah at ease, and she couldn't help but feel a surge of excitement at the thought of living with someone who felt like a kindred spirit. They chatted for hours, exchanging stories about their college experiences, swapping book recommendations, and even discovering a shared love for hiking and photography. By the time their meeting ended, Sarah was convinced she had found the perfect roommate. Initial impressions. In the beginning, everything seemed perfect. Emily was tidy, respectful, and eager to pitch in with household chores. She even surprised Sarah with homemade cookies on their first night in the apartment, a gesture that warmed Sarah's heart and solidified her belief that she had found a true friend in Emily. They spent their days exploring the city, trying out new restaurants, and studying together in the cozy living room of their shared apartment. Sarah felt a sense of belonging she had never experienced before, grateful for the chance to share this exciting chapter of her life with someone who felt like family. The unraveling. But as the days turned into weeks, Sarah began to notice subtle shifts in Emily's behavior. It started with little things. A missing snack from the fridge, a misplaced book, a strange noise in the middle of the night. At first, Sarah brushed it off as nothing more than forgetfulness or coincidence. After all, every roommate has their quirks, right? But as time went on, the odd occurrences became more frequent and unsettling. Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Emily's once friendly demeanor started to feel suffocating, almost possessive. She would hover around Sarah, constantly asking about her plans, insisting on tagging along to every social event, and even borrowing her clothes without asking. Sarah tried to ignore the nagging sense of discomfort, but it lingered like a shadow, growing darker with each passing day. She found herself retreating into her room more often, seeking solace in the familiar embrace of solitude. The turning point. The breaking point came one evening when Sarah returned home to find her apartment eerily quiet. Luna, her beloved cat, usually greeted her at the door with a chorus of meows and purrs. But tonight, there was silence. Panic gripped her heart as she searched every inch of the apartment, calling out Luna's name until her voice grew hoarse. Just as she was about to give up hope, she heard a faint scratching coming from the closet in her bedroom. With trembling hands, Sarah swung open the closet door and was met with a heartbreaking sight. Luna, huddled in the corner, her fur matted and her eyes wide with fear. It was clear that someone had locked her in there deliberately, and Sarah's mind immediately went to Emily. How could her roommate, her supposed friend, do something so cruel? As anger and disbelief coursed through her veins, Sarah knew she couldn't stay silent any longer. She had to confront Emily and demand answers. Confrontation and denial. Summoning every ounce of courage she had, Sarah confronted Emily about Luna's ordeal. At first, Emily seemed genuinely shocked and concerned, denying any involvement in Luna's disappearance. She insisted that she had no idea how Luna ended up in the closet and swore that she would never harm an innocent animal. But Sarah wasn't convinced. There was something in Emily's eyes, a flicker of guilt that she couldn't ignore. She pressed Emily for the truth, refusing to back down until she got the answers she deserved. As Sarah presented her evidence, witness accounts from neighbors who had seen Emily acting suspiciously, security camera footage showing her sneaking around the apartment late at night, Emily's facade began to crumble. She stuttered and stumbled over her words, her once confident demeanor replaced by a shaky uncertainty. It was clear that she was hiding something, but what? Sarah felt a surge of anger and betrayal wash over her, but beneath it all, she couldn't help but feel a twinge of sympathy for the girl standing before her. What had driven Emily to such desperate lengths? And could she ever forgive her for the pain she had caused? The revelation. Finally, in a moment of desperation, Emily broke down and confessed the truth. She admitted that she had been struggling with undiagnosed mental health issues for years, and her behavior had become increasingly erratic and unpredictable. She had stopped taking her medication shortly before moving in with Sarah, thinking she could handle it on her own. But as the stress of college and living with a roommate mounted, she had spiraled out of control, lashing out in ways she couldn't explain or understand. Sarah listened in stunned silence as Emily poured out her heart, revealing a tangled web of guilt, shame, and regret. Sarah was stunned by Emily's revelation. She had never imagined that her seemingly perfect roommate could be hiding such a dark and dangerous secret. As Emily's words sank in, Sarah couldn't help but feel a twinge of sympathy for the girl standing before her. She knew what it was like to struggle with mental health issues, to feel like you're drowning in a sea of darkness with no hope of escape. And while she couldn't condone Emily's actions, she couldn't ignore the pain and suffering that lay beneath the surface. The fallout. With Emily's true nature exposed, Sarah knew she had to protect herself at all costs. She filed a restraining order against Emily, ensuring that she could never come near her or Luna again. She sought therapy to cope with the trauma of her ordeal, grappling with feelings of betrayal, fear, and loss. And as she packed up her belongings and prepared to leave the apartment behind, she couldn't help but wonder how many other unsuspecting souls had fallen victim to Emily's twisted games. In the end, Sarah emerged from the nightmare stronger and wiser than before. She vowed to trust her instincts, to listen to the whispers of doubt that had nagged at her from the beginning. And as she walked away from the apartment, leaving behind the memories of her time with Emily, she knew that she would never forget the lessons she had learned the hard way. In the bustling labyrinth of a university campus, where dreams intertwine with the everyday hustle and bustle, Emily, a spirited protagonist, embarked on her collegiate odyssey with a heart brimming with anticipation. For her, the dormitory was not just a place to lay her head, but a canvas upon which she would paint the vibrant tapestry of her newfound independence. It was in this realm of shared living that fate, with its capricious hand, would lead her to a fateful encounter with Sarah, a stranger who would irrevocably alter the course of her college experience. Their story unfolded within the nondescript confines of a dormitory, where chance played the role of matchmaker, pairing Emily with Sarah in a twist of fate that would test the bounds of their resilience. At first glance, Sarah appeared to be the quintessential roommate, affable, courteous, and seemingly compatible with Emily's aspirations for academic success. Yet, beneath the veneer of civility, there lurked a shadow, a portent of the tumultuous journey that lay ahead. In the early days of their cohabitation, the signs of discord were subtle, easily dismissed amidst the flurry of excitement and adjustment that accompanied the start of the academic year. Misplaced belongings, minor disagreements over household chores, and the occasional disturbance in the dead of night were brushed aside as the inevitable teething pains of communal living. Little did Emily know, these seemingly innocuous incidents were but harbingers of the storm that loomed on the horizon. As weeks turned into months, the cracks in their facade widened, revealing the fissures of Sarah's fractured psyche. Beneath her amiable exterior lay a maelstrom of insecurities and paranoia, simmering just beneath the surface, waiting to erupt like a dormant volcano. Emily found herself navigating treacherous waters, tiptoeing around her own living quarters to avoid setting off the powder keg of Sarah's volatile temper. The turning point came one fateful evening, when Emily returned to their dormitory to find Sarah in the grip of a manic episode. Words became weapons as Sarah unleashed a torrent of accusations and invectives, hurling them with reckless abandon in Emily's direction. The confrontation escalated into a physical altercation, leaving Emily bruised and shaken, a sense of security shattered like fragile glass. Desperate for reprieve from the nightmare unfolding before her eyes, Emily sought solace in the arms of friends and university authorities, pleading for intervention to extricate her from the toxic quagmire of her living situation. Yet, bureaucratic inertia and institutional indifference conspired to thwart her efforts, leaving her stranded in a purgatory of fear and uncertainty, with no lifeline in sight. As the semester wore on, Emily found herself adrift in a sea of anxiety and sleepless nights, her once bright future dimming with each passing day. Her academic pursuits faltered, her social life withered, and the spectre of Sarah's presence loomed large, casting a pall over her every waking moment. The weight of their shared existence became an anchor dragging her down into the depths of despair. But just when all hope seemed lost, a beacon of light emerged on the horizon. A compassionate resident advisor who took Emily under their wing, guiding her to the sanctuary of a new living arrangement far removed from the tumult of her past. With a mixture of relief and lingering trauma, Emily bid farewell to the dormitory that had become a crucible of anguish, carrying with her the scars of an ordeal that tested her resilience to its limits. Looking back, the saga of Emily and Sarah serves as a cautionary parable, a testament to the fragility of human relationships and the importance of safeguarding one's well-being in the face of adversity. It is a reminder that behind the veneer of collegiate camaraderie lies a labyrinth of hidden dangers, where trust can quickly sour into betrayal and safety can be a fleeting illusion. Yet, amidst the darkness, there is also light. The indomitable spirit of those who refuse to be broken by the trials of fate. Emily's journey is a testament to that spirit, a beacon of hope illuminating the path forward for all who dare to navigate the treacherous waters of shared living. And though the scars may never fully fade, they serve as badges of honor, testifying to the strength of the human heart in overcoming even the most harrowing of tribulations. Title: Roommate from Hell. Unraveling the Nightmare. Introduction. In the intricate tapestry of life, the shared experience of living with a roommate often paints a picture of excitement laced with challenges. It's a chapter romanticized as a stepping stone into adulthood, where shared expenses can blossom into lasting friendships. Yet, nestled within this narrative lies a chilling tale, where the ideal morphs into a malevolent reality. Join me as I unfold a true story of roommate horror, devoid of supernatural whims, but brimming with the sinister hues of human behavior gone awry. The beginning. Sarah, fresh from the cocoon of college, fluttered into the cityscape with dreams perched on her shoulders like delicate butterflies. An apartment hunt loomed on the horizon, and fate, like an invisible hand guiding her steps, painted Alex, a friend of a friend, onto her canvas. Their initial encounter was akin to finding a long-lost confidant in the bustling sea of strangers. They shared laughter that echoed through the empty spaces, passions that intertwined like vines, and dreams that soared higher than the skyscrapers outside their window. Oblivious to the shadows lurking in the corners of their shared dwelling, Sarah thought she had stumbled upon a rare gem in the rough, a sanctuary amidst the chaos of city life. Little did she know, the nightmare had just begun its subtle descent, like the first crack in a dam that foretells the impending flood. The unraveling. Days melted into weeks, and weeks into months, as Sarah's perception of Alex wavered like a fragile flame in the wind, flickering between warmth and uncertainty. Initially, his demeanor was as welcoming as the first rays of dawn, his gestures thoughtful and considerate, like a gentle breeze on a summer's day. Yet, like a flower tainted by the onset of winter, Alex's warmth began to frost over, his smiles growing strained, his laughter hollow. Control seeped into the crevices of their shared space, encasing Sarah in an icy grip of manipulation that tightened with each passing day. She brushed aside the warning signs, hoping they were mere phantoms of her imagination, fleeting shadows in the corner of her eye that would dissipate with the dawn. But the shadows lingered, stretching their tendrils until they engulfed her in their suffocating embrace. The transformation. As the seasons danced their silent ballet, Alex's facade cracked, revealing the visage of a puppeteer pulling strings unseen, a master orchestrating a symphony of deception. His once friendly demeanor metamorphosed into a cloak of manipulation, each fold concealing his true intentions like a spider spinning its web in the darkness. Sarah found herself ensnared in a labyrinth of surveillance, her every move scrutinized under Alex's watchful gaze like a specimen under a microscope. Cameras lurked in the shadows, like silent sentinels guarding his fortress of control, their unblinking eyes bearing witness to her every action, her every whispered secret. Yet, she remained oblivious to the extent of his machinations, like a lamb led to the slaughter, unaware of the predator lurking in the tall grass. The isolation, like a spider weaving its silk, Alex spun a web of isolation around Sarah, ensnaring her in its suffocating embrace, trapping her in a cage of her own making. Friends became distant echoes, their voices drowned out by the relentless whispers of doubt seeded by Alex's poison, their faces fading into the murky depths of memory. Sarah, trapped within the labyrinth of her mind, dared not seek solace beyond its walls, her cries for help stifled by the hands of fear that gripped her throat like a vice. Fear of judgment shackled her tongue, leaving her to navigate the maids alone, her footsteps echoing in the empty corridors of her mind like the tolling of a funeral bell. The breaking point. The crescendo of their shared symphony reached its tumultuous peak on a moonlit night, when Sarah stumbled upon Alex pilfering through her digital sanctuary, his fingers dancing across the keys like a thief in the night. Anger ignited within her, a flame fueled by years of suppression, a heart pounding in her chest like a war drum heralding the onset of battle. In a whirlwind of emotions, words turned to daggers, slashing through the thin veneer of civility like a knife through butter. It was in that moment of chaos that Sarah's resolve solidified like steel, her decision clear as the star-strewn sky above, a path illuminated by the faint glow of moonlight filtering through the window. The escape. Under the cloak of darkness, Sarah gathered the remnants of her shattered resolve and fled into the night, leaving behind the suffocating grasp of Alex's tyranny like a butterfly breaking free from its cocoon. With each step, she shed the shackles of fear that bound her, her heart pounding to the rhythm of freedom's song, her lungs filled with the sweet taste of liberation. Alone and adrift, she sought refuge in the embrace of strangers, their warmth a beacon in the sea of uncertainty, their words a balm to her wounded soul. It was there, amidst the whispers of empathy and the gentle touch of compassion, that Sarah found the courage to break her silence, to speak her truth and reclaim her voice. The aftermath. In the wake of her exodus, Sarah embarked on a journey of healing, guided by the steady hand of therapy and the embrace of newfound allies, like a wounded bird finding sanctuary in the shelter of caring hands. Meanwhile, Alex faced the reckoning of his actions, the gavel of justice pronouncing his sentence with unforgiving finality, his fate sealed by the weight of his sins. Those scars marred her flesh and haunted her dreams. Sarah emerged from the ashes of her ordeal like a phoenix reborn in the crucible of adversity, her spirit unbroken, her resolve unyielding. And though the echoes of her nightmare lingered like ghosts in the shadows, she refused to be defined by the darkness that once threatened to consume her, a story a testament to the triumph of the human spirit over the shadows that seek to snuff out its light. Conclusion. Within the shadows of this roommate nightmare lies a sobering truth. Monsters need not wear masks of fangs and claws to inflict harm. They lurk within the guise of the familiar, their tendrils weaving through the fabric of trust until it unravels beneath their touch, like a spider spinning its web in the darkness. Yet, in the crucible of suffering, resilience blooms like a solitary flower in the desert, testament to the indomitable spirit that resides within us all, like a beacon of hope shining through the darkness. Through the haze of darkness, Sarah's story shines as a beacon of hope, a testament to the triumph of the human spirit over the shadows that seek to consume it, a reminder that even in the darkest of nights, there is always a glimmer of light waiting to guide us home. Title: The Unsettling Chronicles of Roommate Mischief. A True Tale. In the realm of shared living spaces, the dynamics between roommates can range from harmonious to downright harrowing. This is the unsettling narrative of a true roommate horror story, where the line between trust and trepidation becomes blurred, and the sanctity of home transforms into a breeding ground for dread. Our tale begins innocently enough, with a young woman named Sarah embarking on a new chapter of her life as a college freshman. Eager to embrace the newfound independence of dormitory living, Sarah eagerly awaited the opportunity to bond with her randomly assigned roommate, Emily. Little did she know, the seemingly ordinary circumstances of roommate cohabitation would soon spiral into a nightmare of manipulation and deception. Initially, Sarah found herself enchanted by Emily's charismatic demeanor and infectious laughter. They spent hours chatting into the night, sharing secrets and dreams as they navigated the complexities of university life. Yet, beneath Emily's friendly facade lurked a sinister agenda, one that would gradually unveil itself in a series of chilling events. The first inkling of trouble arose when Sarah began noticing subtle discrepancies in her personal belongings. Trivial items, such as hairbrushes and jewelry, inexplicably vanished from their designated spots, only to reappear days later in obscure locations. At first, Sarah dismissed these occurrences as mere absent-mindedness, attributing them to the chaos of college living. However, as the incidents multiplied in frequency and severity, Sarah's sense of unease intensified. As tensions mounted, Sarah confronted Emily about the peculiar happenings, expecting a rational explanation to assuage her growing apprehension. To her dismay, Emily responded with feigned ignorance, insisting that Sarah's concerns were unfounded and attributing the disappearances to forgetfulness. Frustrated yet unwilling to escalate the situation, Sarah reluctantly accepted Emily's flimsy excuses, though a lingering sense of distrust festered within her. The situation escalated when Sarah's academic performance began to suffer inexplicably. Assignments mysteriously vanished from her desk, and her meticulously organized notes inexplicably vanished into thin air. Convinced that foul play was afoot, Sarah embarked on a frantic quest to uncover the truth behind the mounting chaos. Her suspicions were confirmed when she stumbled upon incriminating evidence hidden within Emily's belongings. Tucked away in the depths of Emily's closet lay a treasure trove of Sarah's missing possessions, meticulously catalogued and hoarded like trophies of conquest. Shock and betrayal coursed through Sarah's veins as she confronted Emily with the damning evidence, demanding an explanation for her deceitful actions. What ensued was a chilling revelation of Emily's true nature, a manipulative mastermind capable of weaving intricate webs of deception to conceal her nefarious deeds. Unbeknownst to Sarah, Emily had harbored a simmering jealousy towards her since their first encounter, resenting her perceived superiority and coveted possessions. Fueled by envy and a twisted desire for control, Emily orchestrated a campaign of psychological warfare aimed at undermining Sarah's confidence and destabilizing her sense of security. With the truth laid bare, Sarah was faced with a daunting choice: confront Emily and risk retaliation, or sever ties and escape the clutches of her malevolent roommate. Driven by a primal instinct for self-preservation, Sarah chose the latter, enlisting the support of university authorities to facilitate a swift and decisive separation from Emily's toxic influence. As Sarah embarked on the arduous process of rebuilding her shattered sense of trust and security, she emerged from the ordeal with newfound resilience and clarity. Though scarred by the trauma of her nightmarish ordeal, she refused to allow the shadows of her past to eclipse the bright promise of her future. The harrowing saga of Sarah and Emily serves as a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the perils that lurk within the seemingly mundane confines of shared living spaces. Behind closed doors, the bonds of friendship can unravel into webs of deceit, and the line between ally and adversary can blur beyond recognition. In a world fraught with uncertainty, one must tread cautiously and remain vigilant against the insidious forces that seek to unravel the fabric of trust and camaraderie. For in the labyrinth of human nature, the true horror lies not in the darkness itself, but in the shadows that dwell within the hearts of those we least suspect. Title: The Nightmare Next Door. Escaping the Clutches of Chaos. Introduction. Entering adulthood, the quest for independence often leads us down unexpected paths. For me, It was the journey of finding a roommate and a place to call home. Little did I know that the search would catapult me into a harrowing ordeal, a tale of survival in the face of unimaginable chaos. This is the true account of my descent into the abyss of living with a roommate from hell. The beginning. Fresh out of college, the world brimmed with possibilities. Sarah emerged as a beacon of hope, offering a shared apartment in the heart of the city. Initial impressions were promising. Sarah exuded warmth, and the apartment gleamed with promise. It seemed like the perfect start to my post-graduation adventure. However, the tranquility was short-lived. Sarah's behavior soon morphed into a symphony of disarray. Nights echoed with the cacophony of slamming doors, as her erratic comings and goings shattered any semblance of peace. A circle of friends resembled a cast of characters from a noir film, their presence casting a sinister shadow over our once harmonious abode. The unraveling. As days melted into weeks, the veneer of normalcy peeled away to reveal the festering chaos beneath. Sarah's demeanor became increasingly unpredictable, a once cheerful countenance marred by an unsettling glint in her eyes. A sense of unease settled over me like a suffocating blanket, as I found myself tiptoeing through the minefield of her mood swings and outbursts. The apartment, once a sanctuary, now felt like a prison of my own making. Each day brought new horrors, strange odors wafting from Sarah's room, mysterious stains marring the walls, and whispered conversations that ceased abruptly upon my entry. I felt like a stranger in my own home, a reluctant observer in a twisted tableau of paranoia and suspicion. The discovery. The veil of normalcy shattered when I stumbled upon a trove of contraband concealed within our kitchen cabinets. My heart plummeted as I beheld the illicit bounty hidden behind boxes of cereal and cans of soup, bags of white powder, vials of suspicious liquids, and parcels wrapped in opaque plastic lay nestled amidst the mundane trappings of everyday life. The reality of Sarah's involvement in illicit activities crashed down upon me like a tidal wave. Suddenly, her peculiar behavior and dubious acquaintances took on a chilling significance. It was clear that I was teetering on the precipice of danger, a helpless bystander ensnared in a web of deceit and depravity. The confrontation. Summoning every ounce of courage, I confronted Sarah about my findings. Her reaction was as chilling as it was unexpected. She dismissed my concerns with a callous laugh, as if the gravity of the situation held no sway over her. Her eyes, once warm and inviting, now gleamed with a malevolent glint, sending shivers cascading down my spine. But I refused to be ensnared in her web of deceit. With steely resolve, I demanded she rectify the situation or face the consequences. Yet, even as the words left my lips, I knew that escape was the only viable option. The tendrils of Sarah's deception had woven themselves too deeply into the fabric of our lives, ensnaring us in a web of danger from which there seemed to be no escape. The escape. With the walls closing in around me, I embarked on a frantic quest for liberation. Endless hours were spent scouring rental listings, each viewing a glimmer of hope in the darkness. The search felt like a futile game of cat and mouse, with each potential sanctuary slipping through my fingers like grains of sand. Finally, amidst the chaos, a small studio beckoned from across town. Though modest, it offered sanctuary from the tempest that had engulfed my life. With trembling hands, I signed the lease, feeling a surge of relief wash over me like a cleansing tide. Yet, even as I packed my belongings and bid farewell to the nightmare that had consumed me, I couldn't shake the feeling that Sarah's malevolent influence still lingered, a dark spectre haunting the periphery of my consciousness. The aftermath. As I settled into my new haven, the scars of my ordeal served as a grim reminder of the perils lurking beneath the surface of everyday life. Yet, amidst the turmoil, I found strength and resilience. Each trial had forged me anew, imbuing me with a newfound determination to seize control of my destiny. Though the echoes of my trauma lingered, I emerged from the crucible stronger and more steadfast than ever before. The experience had been a baptism by fire, a trial by ordeal that had tested the limits of my endurance and resolve. Yet, as I gazed out upon the horizon of possibility, I knew that I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, armed with the knowledge that I was capable of weathering any storm. Conclusion. My brush with the roommate from hell was a chilling saga, a testament to the shadows that lurk within the seemingly mundane. It serves as a cautionary tale, urging vigilance in the face of deception and resilience in the wake of adversity. Though the road ahead may be fraught with uncertainty, I tread it with newfound confidence, armed with the knowledge that I am capable of weathering any storm. And though the scars may fade, the lessons learned will endure, guiding me ever forward on the journey of life. Though I may never fully escape the specter of my past, I take solace in the knowledge that I have emerged from the crucible stronger and more resilient than ever before. And as I gaze out upon the vast expanse of possibility that stretches before me, I do so with a newfound sense of purpose and determination, ready to face whatever challenges may come my way.